Gazzetta, Football Italia. Andiamo. Hi, I've had an amazing week, especially with England, but I'll be telling you more about that later. First this.
Coming up, a look at the clubs striving to join the super clubs of Serie A with a special report on Serie B leaders Cremonese. And there's action from their top-of-the-table clash with the title challengers Lecce, as well as all the Italian goals from last weekend's Serie B. James Richardson brings you all the news from behind the week's headlines. Win a shirt worn by one of your Italian heroes in our weekly competition. What a week for Gazzetta, that brilliant England performance and a family wedding. Plus the full preview of tomorrow's big live derby game, AC Milan against Inter, including an exclusive chat with Italy's top goal scorer, Marco van Basten.
Well, I've had a fantastic week. Sister got married, great result for England, and not only that, I scored a couple of goals to please Graham Taylor. But more about that later. First, I'm going to have a look at the action from Serie B.
This is Cremona, a small medieval town about 50 miles southeast of Milan in the rich and fertile Lombardian plain. Farming is big around these parts, but they also play football too, and very well. Cremonese, the local team, who you may remember from Serie A last year, is currently dominating Serie B, breaking records and generally being the division's answer to AC Milan. And for a small-town club, that ain't bad.
In partenza l'obiettivo è quello, di fare un campionato ai massimi livelli e l'obiettivo sarebbe raggiungere la Serie A. Comunque, come ha detto lei, la strada è lunga, ancora ce ne sono tante partite da fare, penso che siamo sulla strada buona, ma abbiamo ancora tanto da fare.
Cremonese are currently 2 points clear at the top of Serie B. There's still 28 games to go in their championship, but that does put them nicely in line for an immediate return to Serie A, which will bring the likes of Milan, Inter and Juventus back here to the Stadio Comunale.
E niente, la Cremonese ha fatto 3 anni consecutivi andare su e andare in Serie A e poi ha retrocesso immediatamente. È difficile perché stare al pari di altre squadre, perché a livello economico la Cremonese non è abbastanza limitata, diciamo, anche per gli incassi. Fai anche in Serie A l'anno scorso, a parte quando veniva giù il Milan o l'Inter, facevi sempre 5-6 mila spettatori, quindi non riesci a stare al passo, al pari di grosse squadre, quindi matematicamente retrocedi.
Noi con pochi soldi abbiamo meno potere di investimento, ma continuiamo con la nostra politica dei giovani che anche quando retrocediamo dalla Serie A, che andiamo in Serie B, non è che retrocediamo con le gambe rotte, no, stiamo sempre in piedi, pronti per la risalita, perché abbiamo sempre una squadra che ha sempre un'ossatura, diciamo, che è sempre pronta per ripartire. Invece tante squadre vanno in Serie A, si ubriacano con un bicchiere di vino, tornano in Serie B, poi cadono definitivamente.
Cremonese, though, have certainly bounced back well from last season's demotion. The club are the division's top scorers and have overcome a wobbly start against Cesena to establish a new Serie B record, winning their next 8 consecutive games before drawing with Taranto last Sunday. All this despite the fact that without the funding and support their rivals enjoy, Cremonese survive by continually selling their young talent and searching for more.
A noi diciamo che curiamo molto il settore giovanile, il vivaio, i giovani. Abbiamo una rete di osservatori molto vasta qua nella nostra piccola zona e riusciamo sempre ad avere la fortuna di pescare sempre dei buoni giocatori. L'anno scorso avevamo 3 giocatori nell'Under 21 della nazionale che erano Favalli, Bonomi e Marcolin.
Those 3 players are now at Lazio. Joining in Serie A other products of the Cremonese greenhouse like Vialli and Rampulla at Juventus and Sampdoria's Lombardo. The squad's latest bright young hope is 23-year-old Andrea Tentoni.
Sicuramente ho fatto questo balzo di categoria abbastanza grande per me, che l'anno scorso giocavo così praticamente in Serie C2, che poi non so che categoria, quindi c'è stato questo salto di categoria. Per adesso non sto pagando neanche tanto perché, come hai ripetuto te, sono capocannoniere, quindi la strada per adesso è quella giusta. Speriamo di continuare su questa strada qui, che ci porterà, speriamo, a quello che tutti sogniamo, che sarebbe la Serie A. Quindi.
Tentoni may be freshly arrived in Serie B, but he's already the division's leading scorer. Strangely enough, though, he started out on his road to success as a goalkeeper.
Questo qui è stata una cosa appena arrivata, appena avevo iniziato a giocare, così siccome ero alto mi hanno detto vabbè te fai il portiere, io ho cominciato a fare il portiere, però ho visto che era meglio giocare un pochettino più avanti che stare in porta, quindi ho cambiato ruolo. Era più bello fare i gol che prenderli, dopo allora...
On the other side of that philosophical dilemma is the club's 22-year-old goalkeeper, Luigi Turci, whose prowess between the posts has already got Serie A interested.
Adesso che siamo primi in classifica ci sono molti osservatori che vengono a vedere le nostre partite. Ma c'è scritto sul giornale che la Lazio è stata interessata a me. Se una squadra di Serie A è interessata a te, certo ti senti un attimino più considerato, ecco, cominci a prendere un po' più di fiducia in te stesso, anche se appunto queste voci devono aiutarti a far meglio e non magari a perdere l'umiltà o cose del genere, perché altrimenti è finita, ecco.
Serie B is still some way off the glories of Italy's top division. Players like Turci earn an average of around £50,000 here and play in front of crowds that are often less than 10,000, especially at Cremona, which with just 80,000 inhabitants in the town usually manages just about 5,000 at games.
Noi sappiamo della nostra dimensione, cioè la nostra dimensione per questa struttura, noi abbiamo a 3 km siamo già sul Piacentino, su Piacenza, 15 km siamo già su Brescia, a 20 km siamo già a Parma, cioè praticamente non abbiamo neanche province per portare tifosi. Pochi, siamo sempre in pochi a vedere questa Cremonese qua, ma ci divertiamo molto.
With Milan just an hour away and so much to choose from elsewhere in the region, folk around Cremona have a fine palate and it takes a special kind of football to attract them to the stadium. Perhaps because of that, at Cremonese they certainly have their own spectacular style. Last year we were treated to the sight of the then goalkeeper Michelangelo Rampulla scoring a goal, and that belief that entertaining players is important as getting results continues this year as well.
Sì, è abbastanza strano perché credo che si possa ottenere questo in poche piazze, in poche città. Cioè il primo obiettivo è il risultato, direi nella quasi totalità. Qui c'è la possibilità di lavorare con una certa tranquillità. Questo vuol dire anche preoccuparsi di provare anche a giocare bene, non solamente di fare il risultato.
Cremonese are the team that recently beat West Ham 2-0 in the Anglo-Italian Cup, and on Wednesday the 25th of November Cremonese will be in England playing Tranmere Rovers in the same event. Before that though they face a rather important engagement in Serie B against Lecce.
Era una partita molto difficile, Lecce erano già parecchi domenica che stavano facendo risultati positivi e niente, noi andavamo là come avevamo fatto tutte le altre partite a tentare di vincerla, ecco, però sapevamo consapevoli che è una partita molto difficile.
So, with Channel 4 about to get its first taste of Serie B action with the Cremonese-Lecce game, we asked Cremonese coach Luigi Simoni, what can we expect?
La Serie B è un calcio che prepara giovani alla Serie A, che trova gente che vuole emergere, che quindi ha una forma agonistica un po' più esasperata. La Serie B nostra si assomiglia più al calcio inglese che non la nostra Serie A, perché c'è una prevalenza di fattori agonistici.
James Richardson. I
Cremonese mount this counter thrust. Nicolini. Giandabaji to his right. In the end, it was the central defender Benedetti who got back to clear the cross, which affords Cremonese a corner. Plenty of pressure then here by the visitors, but still goalless in this match. Headed away by Altabelli. Curious pass, but it came off. Tararoni. Really was a slack clearance by Lecce, who advertised their vulnerability there. Maspero to take the corner. He's Cremonese's dead ball specialist. And will curl his left boots round this corner. Dazzotti on the line. Yes, a goal. Cremonese rose high with the header, and Zotti turned it in from a couple of yards. They just can't stop Cremonese from scoring in Serie B. Here's this accurately struck corner to the back post. Cremonese, the sweeper, got forward, and Zotti made a nuisance of himself under the crossbar. Altobelli. Now here's an opening for Scarchili. Scarchili again. Oh, that's a brilliant finish. And just before half-time, Lecce find an equaliser. There was some casual defending by Cremonese. They certainly weren't negligent as Lecce poured forward looking for that equalising goal. And Scarchili could hardly believe it as the Cremonese defence opened up before him, and Goalco handed the ball back to him. Here's Scarchili here, sees his shot come back off the heels of Goalco, and from an impossible angle makes it 1-1. Free kick to the home side, still 1-1. It'd be a brave man who'd guess the outcome of this game. Melchiori, Rizzolo, they claim a penalty, and they have it. Rizzolo fell under the challenge. Ceramicola has scored 2 penalty kicks this season, but not a third. Oh, how Lecce will rue that miss. 2 penalty kicks. 1-1. That was a reckless challenge by Relive. One suspects he's going to be cautioned here. His feet were very high towards the head of Nicolini, and he's saying something here to the referee, who might take sterner action. He does. He's off. Lecce will play the remainder of this game with 10 men. After their number 4, Notari Stefano. Altobelli. Oh, they've scored! 13 minutes from the end, and Altobelli could well have scored the winner. It's his first goal in 3 seasons. And the Lecce fans are delighted and relieved in equal measure. Notari Stefano did ever so well to hold the ball up on the edge of the penalty area. And an unstoppable shot by Altobelli makes it 2-1 to Lecce. Negroni, she almost caught offside. Cremonese desperate. They won the ball back. Benedetti strikes it forward quickly. Now that might be interpreted as a professional or deliberate foul by the substitute. And Lombardini becomes the second player in this match to be sent off. And both teams will be down to 10 men for the last 6 minutes of the match. Great play by Scarchili. Notari Stefano, now is this number 3. And this could have been a clinching goal for the home side. It's still 2-1.
The rest of the Serie B goals to come, but now it's James Richardson with all the news of the week.
Good morning. This week's newspapers include one of the strangest stories we've seen all season. Here it is in La Gazzetta dello Sport. Napoli get beaten up. And for once, this isn't a game report. It refers actually to the events of last Tuesday afternoon, when a group of about 20 youths turned up at Napoli's training ground and, armed with bars and chains, shouted at Bianchi, the new coach, to break the players' backs and generally treat them hard. They then proceeded to show him exactly what they meant, attacking Bresciano, Policano and Filardi. When the group approached Zola, they decided to spare him and instead wheeled their sticks on poor Corradini. Corradini was in shock after the attack and has vowed never to return to the ground. Half an hour after all this, the police arrived in force. And this is where the mystery actually deepens, because the next day they denied the players' stories, using instead the testimony of a gardener at the ground who claims that yes, 20 youths did appear on the site, and yes, they did insult the players, but that it was Zola who actually threw the first punch. This is vigorously denied, as you may imagine, by the 20 or so players who were present on Tuesday afternoon, and meanwhile, both the players and the president of Napoli are travelling with an armed escort. Well, thankfully, no crowbar-wielding fans accosted Italy after their 0-0 draw with Scotland on Wednesday night. But then, after the treatment that Italy received from Scotland, they probably didn't need to. That's according to the view here, anyway. Matarese, the Italian Federation president, called it manhunting. According to Giuseppe Signori, the Italian striker, Scotland, what hard hitters. He says underneath that we expected a battle, but not this much. Italy did pick up some pretty brutal injuries. Baggio has a suspected broken rib. De Chiaro is out, having had stitches to his face. Bianchi and Signori also needed treatment after the game. Apart from the Corriere dello Sport's cry of where was Vialli, the press here were generally contented with the draw. In the Corriere della Sera, they said it to Italy a point of encouragement, and in the Messaggero of Rome, another draw for Italy, but this one's worth more. In fact, the papers seem to be saving their enthusiasm for their reportage of Paul Gascoigne's exploits at Wembley the same night. Gazzetta dello Sport, Gascoigne the King of England. In the Corriere dello Sport, Gascoigne enchants Wembley. They then go on to ask, can he now reawaken Lazio? Well, Gascoigne wasn't the only England player that the Italian press was interested in after the game. Alongside that article, there was this one. On the market, Lazio moves itself. Riedler's replacement is called Shearer. This is the news that with Riedler's unhappiness here at Lazio and with his willingness to leave at the end of the season, Lazio now seriously considering making an offer for the Blackburn striker, who's valued at £6 million worth by his club. Well, there are two players who may be reversing this trend of talent from England to Italy. Aldo Sereno, who's won championships with Milan, with Inter and with Juventus, has turned down Cagliari's offer for next season, preferring instead to end his career in England, probably, he thinks, at Manchester City. Manchester United, meanwhile, have made a £5 million offer for Darko Panchev, so far the big disappointment of the Inter Milan season. United want Panchev immediately, but Inter are currently ruling out any chance of a transfer before the end of this season. Well, finally, where does the future lie for Ruud Gullit? The Dutch star is set to leave Milan at the end of next June, and according to the Gazzetta dello Sport, it's time to book now to avoid disappointment. They name the favourites for his new destination as being Roma, Fiorentina and Sampdoria, although at the moment the only certainty is that he wants to stay here in Italy. We'll be talking to Gullit's teammate Marco van Basten later in the show, but right now it's time for a short break, after which we'll have the first part of our goals roundup from last weekend's Serie B action, our competition, and of course the King of England, Paul Gascoigne. See you then.
Our competition coming up, but first a look back at Sunday's goals. And with Serie A breaking for the midweek internationals, it's action from Serie B.
Newly promoted Monza travelled to the surprise package Venezia and should have taken the lead in the second minute. Moments later, and it was a home side's turn to squander an opportunity, which arrived in the 23rd minute when the powerful strike from fullback Poggi made it 1-0 to Venezia. Solder, the former Lazio defender, failed to clear even with the use of his hand, and Poggi delivered the punishing blow. Struggling Monza fought back and almost grabbed an equaliser. Brambilla's pinpoint pass to Artistico almost rewarded with a goal. Into the second half, and the siege on the Monza goal began. Bernaldi's header cleared by Solder here. Maialaro, their recent signing from Fiorentina, then set up this chance for Campilongo, well saved by Rolandi. The same two combined after 55 minutes, but the goalkeeper was well positioned to gather. Still, Venezia only needed to wait a few more chances before scoring a splendid second, Bernaldi netting his fourth of the season. Campilongo turned provider here for Bernaldi to score a goal worthy of a Serie A player. Monza just couldn't contain Venezia's strike force. Bernaldi's second denied by the upright. Campilongo again involved here, Bernaldi making Solder wish she'd never left Rome. Into the final minutes, an almost identical move unlocked Monza's defence again. It finished 2-0 to Venezia. They move into second place. Two clubs relegated from Serie A last season met in Pisa. Pisa were almost 1-0 up in the 4th minute against Verona. Scarafoni just lacking the composure to find the target. The Sweden ex-Rangers player Robert Pritz then combined with Rossi, whose overhead kick to Pio Vanelli produced this dramatic fall. No penalty given. The referee in fact booked the ex-Pisa striker for ungentlemanly conduct. But was there contact? In the 25th minute, Cristallini's thunderous shot produces outstanding save from Gregori in the Verona goal. The Argentine Chamot then failed to convert the rebound. Pisa were left to rue the miss, and 8 minutes before half-time, their defenders failed to clear Pellegrini's cross. The ball broke to Lamaki, who drove in the opening goal. Verona, hoping for a swift return to the top flight, will be pleased with this strike from their 20-year-old defender. A sloppy clearance from the ex-Sampdoria sweeper, Luca Pellegrini, almost led to Pisa's equaliser. Rocco steers the ball wide to Chamot, whose cross was met with a powerful header by Scarafoni. 3 minutes before the break, and the home side levelled the scores. Christian Vieri, the under-21 international on loan from Torino, coolly converts Rotello's through ball. It was a big striker's first game for Pisa. His colleagues and the fans will be hoping for more of the same from the 19-year-old in their bid for a promotion push. All square then at half-time. Five minutes after the break, Rocco's free kick caused panic in the Verona defence. Scarafoni's knockback was eventually hooked to safety by Verona's goalscorer Lamaki. 4 minutes later, Rossi missed an opportunity to give Verona the lead with the whole of the goal at which to aim. The away side finished the stronger. Ficadenti set up this Pia Vanelli volley. But the game ended 1-1, Verona yet to win away this season. Cosenza and Reggiana both narrowly missed promotion last season, and it was the home side which took the initiative early on. Marula teasing his opponent before screwing his shot wide of the post. Valeri's calm defending then foiled this surge from Morello. Just before the break, Cosenza missed arguably the game's easiest chance. Negri misdirected this header. Reggiana then broke the offside trap. Their goalkeeper did well first to deny Sacchetti, then Monti. After 66 minutes, the home side should have gone ahead through Catanese. The same player then tried his luck with a free kick 3 minutes later. Reggiana boasts Serie B's tightest defence. In their goalkeeper Bucci, they boast one of the finest goalkeepers. A minute from full-time, Bucci denied Cosenza again to leave Reggiana still undefeated after 11 games. Padova have never won at Cesena, and their jinx was to continue after this penalty appeal was turned down. At the other end, Gautieri's corner eventually reached Lantignotti, whose volley was cleared by Rosa. Gautieri switched wings for this corner. Lantignotti was again on the end of the cross. On the stroke of half-time, Padova were reduced to 10 men when Ottoni kicked out at an opponent and received a red card. 10 minutes into the second half and Cesena take the lead. Lantignotti finally getting his name on the score sheet. The young midfield player, once on the books of Milan, took full advantage of the gap left by Ottoni's dismissal. Minutes later and Gautieri's pass find Hubner. It took a splendid save from the former Juventus reserve goalkeeper to keep Padova in the match. Padova kept searching for an equaliser. Modica's shot went just inches wide. Then the ex-Italian international and Juventus striker Giuseppe Galdarisi then showed why he was once rated higher than Paolo Rossi. There were just too many white shirts in the way for the 1986 World Cup star. Barnauti kept Cesena at bay with another superb save from Mazzolini. 3 minutes into injury time, Cesena wrapped things up. Lerda opened up Padova's defence and Hubner converted at the far post. Clever play from Lerda handed Hubner his 6th of the season and Cesena's 5th victory. It finished 2-0.
Hi Yari, I'm back home, shattered. I'm also very delighted what happened through the week. Graham Taylor wanted to score and not only did I score, I got a couple. I can't believe it myself. As part of the man match, we're given tickets. We 4 tickets to America, 2 off the FA and 2 off American Airlines. Comes to about £8,000 in total. I decided to put them back in the hat for the lads to pick out because it was only fair, and because I thought the whole team was absolutely magnificent, and hopefully we can carry that on against San Marino. I'm looking forward now, especially everyone, for the next game, San Marino, and especially to the World Cup. You know, I mean World Cup because we've got to be confident. There's no use going about the game, every game, thinking we're not going to get there. We are going to get there. You know, as long as we keep on putting in the performances we have been doing. What more can I say? I'm just really pleased that we got this game out of the way and looking forward to another with a great result. I don't know if you can see my eyes at the moment. It looks as if I've got a bit of done-up mascara, froscio as I say, puff, in Italy. It's not that, I just woke up and all of a sudden I have 2 black eyes here and there. I don't know how, I must have punched myself in the face or something. Don't know how it happens, but it's no makeup, I'm going to tell you that now. Anyway, the news at the moment this week is, I've heard, obviously through papers in a few years, that Lazio have put in a bid for Alan Shearer. I'm sick of him as it is with the England camp. Never mind having him living next door to me. Now, only kidding. Now, Alan's a tremendous player, and I think whoever, you know, obviously he is happy at Blackburn are doing very well. I heard Lazio are interested in the guy, but for a start, Blackburn don't need the money. The guy's mega rich, and Alan's happy, so I just have to leave it at that. That's all. But he's a tremendous player, and you know, I think after the end of this season, there'll be a lot of clubs interested in Alan. On the Lazio front, we might be off to Japan at the end of the season to play against my mate Gary Lineker. You know, so I best take my chopsticks over there just in case I have to eat pretty much meal beforehand and that. So maybe looking forward to that. Not the flight, but just playing against Gary. Well, as you can see, I'm back home now, and last week I was at my sister's wedding. As I said in my speech, all my sister's life she's wanting to look like Cinderella, and last Saturday she just looked like it's just a shame she had to marry the frog. Sorry, John. I had to put that one in again. No, it was really nice just to see my sister get married to, for me, will be a wonderful husband. Great lad, and they make a fantastic couple.
Special preview of the big live game, Inter against AC Milan. Join us for both of those programs.
And that's next Saturday at 10:30. Next this morning, all the play action from across the pond.
Rush coming down.
Thanks for dressing us like this, Anna. Thanks very much.
My best man! I only met Paul 18 months ago, right? Now, if anybody didn't know me 18 months ago, this, what you see in front of you, is a different person. Because I got this photograph out, which is one of my publicity photographs, and Paul said, what's that? I said, it's my publicity photograph. He said, when did you have this taken? I said, 12 months ago. He just fell about laughing. He said, look what I've done to you. Anyone who doesn't know, here's a bit of a list, all right? I've had my hair about 20 different colours. I've been bald twice. Paul Gascoigne and Paul Stewart.
Wonderful.
I'm banned from 2 swimming pools and 4 pubs, all right? I'm a confirmed alcoholic. I've got 2 bullet bruises in my leg. I've aged 20 years and I've got Tweety Pie tattooed on my arse, right? Now this is in the space... This is in the space of 18 months. I don't know if you saw a documentary on TV. Paul poured a bucket of water over me in bed, you see. And I always said that I'm going to have to get him back, so... Paul and I were down at Mill Hill where the Tottenham training ground is. We'd gone in, and outside the light of the wedding today, it was awash with press. So what I usually do is, I put Paul in the boot of the car to get him out, you see. So I've got him in the boot, and I drive out, and he said, "Are we past them?" I said, "Yeah, we've passed them." It's in the back, like, "Oh, God." I said, "Yeah, we're there." He said, "Let me out." I said, "Good luck."
We come now to the giving of the rings.
He phoned up his mum on his mobile, because he had his mobile. He said, "Ginger's kidnapped me." So, and cut a long story short, we drove around London. Paul didn't get out. Rip tore me maps up in the back of the car. We went all around London. I'm only pleased we didn't get as far as Gatwick Airport, because apparently that day the police at Gatwick were looking for £5.5 million of dope, and I had him in the boot. Okay, so that's that
one. Welcome back. Our Milan Derby preview coming up. But first, the rest of the goals from Sunday's Serie A B.
Next to David Platt's old club, Bari in white playing Bologna. Now Reri going close for Bari early on. They got even closer after half an hour. Alessio denied by the width of the upright, and Caginelli's cross is met by Capocchiano. Perhaps Alessio deserved the goal with his smartly struck shot. Either way, Bari's lead wasn't long in arriving. Well, Bari hit full throttle. 2 minutes later, Robert Yanni's cross is met by Capocchiano, who scores again. Some strikers take half a season to score 2 goals. Capocchiano had managed it in 120 seconds. Bari obviously felt their way to goal was down the wings. Yanni's cross and you-know-who went close to his hat-trick. It wasn't all plain sailing for Bari as storm blew up here as Progne fouls Trochet. Progne breaks his shin, making the illegal tackle. Bari went off hunting more goals, Alessio going close. Trochet needed a firmer header here to drag his side back into the game. Into the second half now, and Swiss international Tekilimas almost gave Bologna a lifeline. Bari hadn't given up looking for goal number 3, and Alessio needed to angle his shot here to manage it. Bari won by 2-0. It's their first win in a month. Ascoli have never won at Ternana in a Serie B match. Ascoli, in the black and white stripes, had the ideal opportunity to take the lead through Bierhoff. Ternana's best early chance came from Fiori, deflected off Bossi. Whether the original shot was on or off target is uncertain, but the goalkeeper, Laurieri, had to move smartish. Ascoli won a penalty after half an hour. Number 7, Pierre Leone's cross, is handled by Caramelli. On the slow-motion replay, watch out for the hand of the Ternana defender. Ascoli handed a penalty then, quite literally. Zanancelli misses, then scores. This game of head tennis by Ternana and Ascoli didn't result in a winning smash by Caramelli. And now the second goal of the match, 40 minutes in, and number 11, Pierentozzi's hopeless miscue, headed in by Zaini. The quality of the diving header made up for the attempted cross come shot, which preceded it. Ascoli had a slice of luck on their side. Carrillo's shot hit the wrong side of the upright. Ternana thought they'd had a penalty of their own here for this apparent handball by Pascucci. The referee waved play on. Judge for yourself, did hand hit ball unintentionally, or was it a deliberate infringement of the rules? Ternana still without a win this season, and they stay bottom. Spal in the white and blue hadn't won at home all season, but against Lucchese had the lead after 5 minutes. Soda on target. Soda used to ply his trade at Bari and played with David Platt there last season. Spal had their goalkeeper to thank for maintaining their lead. Batara's reflexes denying Rastelli. This was a real talking point of the first half. Rastelli, number 11, fouled here. Penalty to Lucchesi. And Pauci scored the equaliser midway through the first half. Rastelli's accurate cross is met by an inaccurate volley by Pauci. 4 minutes from the interval, Spal were ready to celebrate goal number 2. Just the linesman on the far side to spoil all their fun. Chiocci is deep inside offside country when he slides the ball over the line. It ended level at 1-1. Lucchesi yet to win away this season. Taranto in white have had a tough time of it so far this season. With finishing like this against Piacenza, you can see why. Mid-table Piacenza, no great shakes themselves, but they are unbeaten at home. Piavani went close here. Piacenza's route to goal seemed to be long distance. Piavani again threatening Taranto's goal. Muro followed the example with a free kick. Now this probably illustrates the difference between Serie A and B. Can you imagine Van Basten missing that? Piavani remained Piacenza's principal source of hope with this shot. But in the second half, Piacenza got closer. De Vitis was the unlucky player who saw his shot cleared off the goal line. This was a quite splendid turn by a player rated the top striker in Serie B last term. Taranto's few counter-thrusts were very sporadic. This is Pistella going close. De Vitis continued to make a nuisance of himself. He's evidently a player of real class in this Piacenza team. After all their probing, Piacenza's second goal was a scrappy affair. Turini with a shot, but it took a looping deflection over Simone. The goal came 10 minutes from full time to make the game safe for Piacenza. By then Taranto were a little dispirited. This is casual defending. De Vitis thrives on that. Piavani provides the cross. Bearing in mind Piacenza have only one player in the opposition's penalty area, they make it count. Final score 2-0. Taranto slipped to second bottom in the table. This was the first ever meeting of Modena and Fidelius Andria in Serie B. Andria in white with the first real opportunity, Lucchesi with this hopeful ball into the box. Modena could have scored here, but they couldn't take advantage of some slack defending. This free kick by Modena deserved better. Maranzano with his thunderous drive. Modena did have the chance to take the lead just before half-time. Paulino, the player, fouled. Provitali scores his fourth of the season. But Andria's bloom hadn't quite burst. Just after half-time, Caruso, a second-half substitute, heads the visiting team level. The quality of Modena's aerial defending leaves a lot to be desired. Well, coming up, what almost proved to be bizarre goal of the week. Who said that the back pass rule wasn't making the game more interesting? Just before the hour mark, Consonni makes it 2-1 with a beautifully struck free kick. Maybe the goalkeeper should have saved the shots, maybe he was unsighted. Andria's second equaliser was equally spectacular. Again it was a substitute who provided the goal, Coppola with a splendid shot. This goal coming 14 minutes from the end of the game. Coppola's initial shot charged down, and if at first you don't succeed, try again. Final score 2-2. Andria will be happy with the away point. They haven't won on their travels since last December.
So this is how the Serie B table looks now, with Cremonese and Venezia joint leaders and Reggiana ahead of the chasing pack. Remember, 4 teams go up. No games in Serie A last weekend, but a reminder of how the table stands with AC Milan 2 points clear of Torino. Juventus and Inter are locked together on 12 points. At the bottom, Pescara and Foggia are in danger of losing touch. But Ancona, Napoli and Roma are all struggling as well. And tomorrow's fixtures. Gazza's Lazio go to Foggia. Torino and Juventus meet in a vital clash, but the game of the day is the 117th Milan Derby in the league. James Richardson reports on AC Milan against Inter.
A dark and brooding sky hangs over Milan as the town awaits its 215th Milan Derby. and with them awaits the rest of Serie A, because 8 weeks into the championship, we've still yet to find a team that can beat AC Milan, the champions. This weekend, it'll be the chance of Inter Milan to try and upset their rivals. And on this grand occasion, we've come to town to talk to one of the biggest figures in Milanese football, Marco van Basten. Here at Milan, Marco's won just about everything. 2 Italian championships, 2 European Cups, 2 Intercontinental Cups, and innumerable personal honours. He's Italy's highest scoring active player, and even with the competition in Serie A ever more concentrated on stopping them, he and AC Milan keep rolling on.
Now we are also in a special moment, because we are already 42 games unbeaten, so I think that not happens so much. No, I think till now we played better than last year. We have played 8 games, 15 points, and we made a lot of goals. We played better during the games, and I think you have always to try to be better.
Milan may see room for improvement, but the rest of the league is still struggling to catch up. Fiorentina and Lazio are just 2 of the squads trying to develop similar strength, so far without success. So what's the Milan secret? For coach Fabio Capello, 2 things are important: concentration and humility. Van Basten, though, points to a third.
It's also very important that we are here in a team and in the club that's very good organized. And if everything is okay, already in the top of the club, of the societe, then what's down there, it's going easy. I think these words are more important than the money. Without money, it's very difficult, that's sure, but you need the other words, you know, concentration, organization. If you have a lot of things, when the season is finished, everything is already forgotten. You start a new season and you have to begin with nothing, at 0. The first game you lose, there are a lot of troubles and a lot of chaos. So every year you have to do and to give everything you have, to do your best and to win something. Otherwise, the people, the crowd, are not satisfied, and also yourself.
As usual this season, Van Basten is Serie A's leading scorer. 3 goals against Pescara put him on top of the list in week 2, but since then he's had to battle for the lead with a new rival, Giuseppe Signori. It took Van Basten's astonishing 4 goals against Napoli 2 weeks ago to put him clear of the Lazio striker.
I don't know, I have the advantage that I make part of the team of Milan, and that's a really advantage. But I think he's a very good player. He has nearly everything. He has a very good technique. He is very rapid, quickly. He has a good shot. He's intelligent, you can see it. So and he's also able to make good dribblings. So I hope he will make a very good season, but not so good. I feel okay. And I play good games. I score more than last year. Maybe I'm more relaxed than last year in this moment. But now I played 8 games and I made 12 goals. Milan made 8 games, 15 points. Very good. But not now, but maybe after a month or 2 months, there will also come difficult times, and then we will see how far we are and how strong we are, I think.
Marco and Milan may not have to wait all that long for those difficult times. Their opponents on Sunday are Inter, who have already won Fabio Capello's praise as potentially Milan's most dangerous opponents.
For us, I think it will be a difficult game, that's sure. But all the games against Inter are difficult. But then it's a special game always. Normally, Milan against Inter, you can't say nothing about it because it's a different game.
An additional worry for Milan in the run-up to the derby has been the departure of 7 of their top players for Italy's match with Scotland. Happily, none were injured, but the players were gone from training until yesterday morning, an absence of 10 days in the run-up to one of Milan's biggest games this season.
It's not so easy when there are a lot of players away. You have to prepare the team, and that was a little bit a problem. But we are in the situation that we already play 4 or 5 years together. So I think it's not a real problem. But yeah, I think Inter will do everything because the public here in Milan, and not also in Milan, in Italy a little bit, they are hoping for una sconfitta, a loss from Milan. So I think Inter will give more than 100% for that.
So that's the Van Basten verdict, and for a man who does enjoy verily godlike status in this country, he does seem to have his fair share of that humility and concentration. One thing though is that Marco seemed to think that the Italian public is well and truly behind Inter for this clash tomorrow. Here in Milan though, you'd have to call opinion divided.
Da una vita, 65 anni che tifo per Milan.
Sulla carta dovrebbe vincere il Milan, poi il derby è una partita un po' particolare e può succedere di tutto.
Domenica vince l'Inter, 2-0 almeno.
Fortissimo Milan, direi fortissima Inter, forse loro hanno la possibilità di vincere con noi.
Se c'è Schillaci segna un bel gol per 2-0.
6-3.
Per chi?
Per il Milan. 4-1 per il Milan.
Milan. Well, over on the other side of town from Milan's headquarters is the Penatina base of Inter, where the squad are doing their best to stay relaxed in the run-up to Sunday's game. And they even seem a bit taken aback at the level of the expectations upon them.
No, è molto speciale. Il derby è la partita più importante che c'è nel campionato per noi e anche per quelli del Milan. Ecco. Speriamo di fare un buon derby, di giocare una buona partita e di fare risultato.
Innanzitutto il Milan con noi ha sempre sofferto negli ultimi anni, a parte che gli ultimi anni, a parte l'anno scorso, siamo sempre stati sullo stesso livello Inter e Milan, se non anzi più forte l'Inter, almeno in campionato. E adesso loro hanno preso il sopravvento, sono una squadra sicuramente più forte in questo momento, però potremmo metterli sicuramente in difficoltà.
Despite Inter's many problems last season, they fought well in both the Milan derbies, holding Milan to a draw in the first game and losing in the second, only to a last-minute Massaro goal. This year they hope to go even better. Torino have shown that halting Milan is not impossible, and theirs is an approach that Inter's coach Osvaldo Bagnoli draws hope from.
È chiaro che se tu vai e vuoi giocare alla pari con Milan probabilmente perdi. Devi cercare di non concedergli molto spazio e cercare di... il Torino ha una sua teoria che il suo allenatore lo ha detto ad alta voce, quella del mordere e del fuggire, cioè riuscire a dare qualche... Io il mio termine è un po' diverso, ma è lo stesso principio, dico, quando riesci a dare una sberla, darla, però cerca di non prenderla, insomma, ecco. E col Milan devi fare così, perché se la metti sullo stesso piano probabilmente loro sono più forti e tu perdi.
Un po' per il bene e un po' per il volere di tutto il campionato, che noi cercheremo di ottenere questa vittoria, perché sarebbe un bene per il nostro campionato italiano, insomma, perché una vittoria del Milan veramente dopo 3-4 mesi dall'inizio del campionato sarebbe già decisiva. Pronostico il solito quando voi venite qua. Capito? Quando voi venite qua vinciamo sempre.
Speriamo che finisci così. Buon fortuna.
Grazie.
Nicola Berti may regard our presence here as good luck charm, but then he didn't realise that we'd already been to AC Milan as well, which I guess evens up the odds a bit. Will AC Milan stay on their unbeaten streak? Will Inter manage to breathe some life back into the race for the Serie A title? Who will win the Milan Derby? We'll discover everything tomorrow afternoon, and it truly is an occasion not to be missed.